After a while, I felt well enough to make a few phone calls, and I received a lot of advice. One friend said, "Lubs, I get a bit blue sometimes, and I find fresh air always helps. You should go outside for a walk." Mine was a different kind of blue. Nothing felt safe, and everything about me was deadened. Even when I heard my 5-year-old niece say, "Why is Auntie Lubna always in pyjamas?" I still couldn't get it together to get up, get dressed, and be the sort of role model my little niece deserved. Others told me to stop thinking about myself and stop dwelling on the past. And my law of attraction friends were eager to tell me that I had created this with my thoughts. I had also created another life, a life I loved, but just couldn't find because there wasn't any light. After a while,
being depressed isn't about feeling sad. It's not an emotion, so you can't rapidly turn it around into being happy with a bit of determination or distraction. Depression is an illness. A clinical diagnosis is given where someone has 2 out of 3 core symptoms for at least 2 weeks. An unusually sad mood, losing interest in things you otherwise enjoy, and fatigue. There may be other symptoms too, like not being able to make decisions or wanting to be dead. Even though it all sounds gloomy, I was comforted by seeing the textbook definition. It made it seem normal, and it meant if I was just ill, I could become well again. I hadn't been depressed for over 7 years. This time it started with sudden demolition works. New owners of the downstairs maisonette had decided to refurbish before they moved in, without mentioning it to me. There was daily dust, noise, vibrations, and what I experienced as bullying for almost a year. I was given steroids so I could breathe, and antidepressants so I could cope. I was ashamed of being on medication for this. Surely I should be able to manage.
I know people wanted to be helpful, but telling me to get fresh air or berating me for thinking only about myself, which actually I wasn't, or suggesting I come out to have a few drinks and cheer up, just made me feel worse. As I got better, I understood. What had happened was like being a caterpillar in its chrysalis, where everything breaks down into this soupy mess that dangles in this container of chaos, exposed and vulnerable to the outside world. It has the potential for something new, even beautiful, to emerge. Or it could just snap and fall into oblivion. I'm one of the lucky ones. Those voices, the judgments, the edicts, the platitudes, they hurt. We need to talk about mental health, not at it. I knew something was going on because I'd started to crave Heinz macaroni cheese. Chemical sludge. I couldn't get enough of it. In the run-up to this, I'd been getting overly emotional, crying at everything. And then my thoughts got dark and dangerous. I just didn't want to be here anymore. I was diagnosed with severe clinical depression, and like a child, I was sent home to my parents and went straight to bed, where I more or less slept for 3 weeks, only getting up to eat, to use the bathroom, or to cry. I remember my mother coming in, and asking an impossible question. What would you like for breakfast? Toast or cereal? I couldn't answer because I was just too broken. And after that, breakfast just appeared because I had to have food with my medication. They say it's the most important dish of the day. Just imagine that you're the first person in the world ever to have a nosebleed. How do you feel? Terrified? Disgusted? When you look around, you don't see anyone else with this. This is what being mentally unwell can feel like. You want to be like everybody else, so you turn away, you don't tell anyone, you remain silent.
The kindest thing anyone can do is be willing to listen. Holding back from offering solutions, which can seem like listening, but isn't really. It's a human tendency, isn't it, to offer explanations? Well-intended advice all too often feels like judgment, underlining failings which are already felt. The voices that soothed were the ones that were willing to be silent, to listen, to just be there and wait.